Hey guys, thank you so much for coming. Oh, it's been a while since I did a Reiki and OBE flavored broadcast for everybody, but that's exactly what I've got for y'all today. Let me know if the audio's okay. The only thing I can't hear is the intermittent microphone problem when it goes. So if it's doing any of that mess, I need to know. But other than that, we're gonna get started. I didn't plan on. Here's the disclaimer. I didn't plan on doing a real structured stream. I really was just going to do this before I got a call from my children today, and I didn't have it all planned out. But then that call happened literally right when I was going to go live with a few notes. And so after the call, I was like, well, why am I going to go live on just my little, almost hidden Facebook group of 58 people, which isn't bad. 58 people in my Astral Projection Help and Tips Facebook group. Um, Kudos to everybody in there. They're good people. They're all starting to post and answer each other's questions. This is really cool. So check that out if you're interested in the stuff we're going to be talking about. Again, it's Astral Projection Tips and Tricks group on Facebook. It's the one that I run. I saw a post on there, and I was like, I need to make a little live stream in here for everybody. But instead of doing that, I'm going to do it here on the main channel. But that also reminds me, I want to go ahead and share it to my own Facebook page, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Let's see. Astral Projection Help and Tips is my room, and I'm gonna put this link in there. You all, that's your cue to go and add yourselves to the group if you want. I'll be in there to accept them all in just a little bit. I'm live now. Come ask questions. And I got to use the Facebook. There's a trick for you guys. Facebook debugging tool. If you ever post anything like en masse, like I just created this live stream, and I have an auto poster that I send the stream to, or I mean an auto poster that basically shares to all my groups for me. But one of the things you have to do is go to the Facebook debugger tool and scrape the link that you're going to share first so that it gets the thumbnail. So it's like a secret, little known secret. I might make a video on that one day, but for right now, I'm not worried about it. So what I'm going to talk about this time in this video is, first of all, I'm going to give a couple more tips on how to go out of body, and I'm going to share an experience I had this morning. I'm going to also talk about night terrors or sleep paralysis. What do you do with sleep paralysis, especially if you are trying to leave your body with it? But even if you're just scared of it and you want to know what to do with it, I'll answer that question here too. Just for the record, you can call in at any time in this show. The number is 504-264-3609. If you have questions, that's what I'm doing this for. So the call-in lines are open. Actually, I lied. They're about to be open. The skinamarinka-dinky-dink this. Oh, there it is. I thought it was going to make me log into a completely different thing. All right, so now the lines are open, and I've posted in my group, so we're ready to go. So the first thing I'll talk about is my experience I had this morning and why I think it's relevant to help you also go out of body. So I was laying in the bed, and something woke me up, so I tossed over to the other side, and as I tossed over and closed my eyes, I felt like I didn't stop tossing over. Like if I turned my head and it should have stopped right here, it just kept slowly turning. And I was familiar with this sort of vertigo feeling. And so I just let that vertigo happen. It was like a sort of twisting feeling happen. And I would just remain very passive to it. And while that was going on, I remember trying to see what I could see, and it was nothing. I could just see blackness. And I started to try to imagine the room and what it looked like. And I could begin to do that maybe, but I was still in the very much the visualization stage of that. I wasn't out of body, so to speak. So what I did was just, again, remain very passive and not move my body at all while I tried to recreate the room with my mind and recreate it with me spinning. So I was trying to help the spinning along by recreating the room as if I was also spinning around with that feeling. And what happened was something shifted in me and said, you know, I'm just gonna, because I'm feeling like this, I'm gonna try to imagine that I'm flying instead. And as soon as I did that, the room disappeared from my sight and it became pitch black again. And I kind of thought I ruined the experience until I saw some look like water particles flying up near my vision, like some mist in the air, some fog, like a low-lying cloud in the blackness. Really, is what it looked like. And matter of fact, like, hold on. Um, Matter of fact, it looked a lot like what you're gonna see right here, or right here rather, roll in, and and I was in blackness like this. It was pure black, and I had my arms out like this, and the spinning sensation that was happening before now turned into, instead of me like, it felt like I was in the bed spinning like this, like on my back and twisted. The spinning sensation now made me kind of feel like I was doing this with my arms out like a top. So I visualized myself just spinning in the blackness of the clouds, and I was able to realize that I had now transcended just visualizing, and I was actually in and creating a dream at that point. And my biggest clue was the clouds were not something I created; they created themselves, and the feeling in my belly of going up and down was able to be controlled by whether or not I wanted to ascend or descend in the air. So I was creating the whole everything. And that once I realized I'm doing that, and then I'm like, oh shit, and I look down, I'm like, oh god, I'm too high, and I get that weird, that scary feeling. But I was able to like slowly go back down to the ground in this dream, which was pretty cool. I didn't scare myself awake. But I wanted to share that. Why? Because you can latch on to some of these weird feelings that you have in the middle of the night when you wake up from sleep. And these are just like easy boats right out the body. I mean, you got to catch that boat. If you close your eyes and you feel dizzy, just go with it. Don't do anything with it. Just experience it and ride it out. Ride the spiral on out. You'll be surprised what happens when all the dizziness sort of subsides. Now, in that experience, would I consider that a lucid dream or an astral projection? I would consider that only a lucid dream. I say only a lucid dream because the next step is an astral projection. Now, what's the difference? Real brief. Lucid dream, you're controlling stuff. You're able to realize you're controlling stuff, and that's one thing. But if you really wanted to do something spectacular and you ended up not doing it in that experience, well, then you're not fully aware. You didn't set out to do the plan that you might have had before you tried to go out of body. Now, last night I didn't have any plan. I was just it was just kind of something that happened, and I don't know. I didn't do much with the experience, but try to fly around for a little while, and then maybe I got sucked into a dream. But I remembered it, and I remembered a lot of it, which tells me I was really aware in the very beginning. But you know, you kind of can fade out of that and just get sucked into the dream of it, and a lot of times you won't remember it. I'm surprised I do remember it. But the difference in the two, I'm sorry, to get back on track, the difference between lucid dreaming and astral projection is that just that level of awareness. The fact that I didn't, I would much rather like to try to prove the experience was real again, like I've done at least 3 or 4 times before. So I would have been like, yeah, where can I go? Like, whose room can I go into? And what can I see in that room? And what can I tell them about, you know, the next day? And I think one person actually gave me permission to do that. So I guess I should have thought about that. I totally could have did it, or at least tried. So that was fun. The next experience I'm going to talk about is sleep paralysis. So what is that? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and couldn't move? I want to hear that in chat. If you've had an experience like that, let me know. I'm also going to read the chat. Say hi to everybody in the his owl. Glowbusters, Bob is in here. NASA Lies made it. Joel, it's lovely Joel. Freddie C, Fred Carr. NASA Lies about everything. Truth Seekers Mafia 36. How's it going? Stephen Owens. Love, Wisdom, Harmony. I'm a Reiki master, so this will be interesting. Cool. Did you see Nathan Oakley today? They were using gravity bongs to explain density. Oh, I gotta catch that one. Ah, um, I used to have bad night terrors when I was a child, said Dark Cloud. My grandmother also believes in Flat Earth due to her being a Bible thumper. Manny, what's up, Manny Pinocchio? Flat Earth heads in here. Astral project? I astral catapult. I could actually relate to that. uh, I've been trying to get back with you to get a confirmation. Oh, man, I know. There's reasons why, and the biggest reason I haven't got back to you is because it just slipped my mind. Um, but I don't. It's just scheduling anything really weirds me out. It feels like 200 pounds on my back. You gotta catch me like you did at 4 in the morning. No, I gotta plan something with you and Patricia. Can I maybe you guys want me on the first of the first, right? Crap, that's just 2 days from now. I want to try to do this all in one day, the scheduling thing, because really I'm weird. I'm a weird duck when it comes to scheduling, but I want to get with you guys. I will say yes. What time do you want me though on the first? It's I think I'm on Mountain Time right now in Arizona. Isn't Arizona considered Mountain Time? So if it's 3 o'clock right now, this is I don't know what time you need me on the first in Mountain Time. Iron Realm. Oh, that smoke from the bong rip? Yes. I was telling everybody in chat I was still choking on the bong rip. No, this is what I do when I do that freaky mask thing. You've probably all seen the freaky mask thing that I do, yeah. But anyway, enough of that. So yeah, sleep paralysis. What is it? Some people have said they've had it, all that. Well, what it is your body's going to sleep. Your body's already asleep, but your mind has woken up somehow in that state of being. And when that happens, you're going to experience sleep paralysis. You're going to experience just exactly what it sounds like. You can't move. Um, in fact, whatever you try to move generally starts vibrating like mad. And it's just a lot of times it's super scary to a lot of people. It freaks people out. Um, but it's the last step before leaving one's body. Or thinking up some random dream or getting sucked into a dream and just having that experience. I mean, it's like your body was probably already dreaming something, or it definitely already went to sleep and past that stage, and you got sucked into a dream, but something just woke you up, and you're just not fully awake. That's all sleep paralysis is if it happens like that. Some people can meditate or try to get to this state just by relaxing and doing breathing exercises or sitting up if they're really tired like me. I'd be really sleep deprived, and my method of choice would be to sit up like this in a wooden school desk, and I would leave my body almost every morning in class. Um, Whatever your method is, you can either get there on purpose or on accident. And what you should do if you're scared of it is what I said, what I was going to say earlier to you guys. If you're really freaking out about, this experience, the sleep paralysis, maybe you have it often, you want to know how to get rid of it. Well, I hope that you don't take this advice. I hope that you take the advice I'm about to give after I give this advice, okay? But listen up. If you want to break the spell, if you want to break out of sleep paralysis, best advice is focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing pattern, your breathing rhythm. Focus on your chest going up and down, how it feels to breathe. Try to change your breathing. Latch onto it, change it. Your breathing is like your core. I don't know, it's one of those autonomous like things, and if you can latch on to that process, which seems to just be fairly easy to do, easier than trying to wiggle hands or whatever, easier than opening your eyes. I actually I had, yeah, it's all very fuzzy to me right now, but it just came back to me when I said that about it's easier than opening your eyes. It definitely is, because I just remembered a point, I guess maybe it was last night or 2 nights ago, where I was unable to open my eyes for a short while in the bed. And that's definitely an indication of I was in sleep paralysis, but I wasn't getting vibrations and I wasn't very aware. I probably just said, oh, screw it, and just relaxed again and went right into a different dream. But yeah, it just totally triggered that memory. Focusing on your breathing will wake you out of it. Now, what are you supposed to do to actually leave your body in that state? But first of all, before I tell you that, I want to kind of clarify to help people understand whether or not they're even in paralysis. It's accompanied by, like I said, vibrations, noises like wind noises, loud wind sounds, yelling, voices, screaming, sometimes whispering, popping, electrical buzzing, bzzz, all these kind of things. Very, very common with sleep paralysis. Um, the presence of somebody else in the room, very common. Feeling someone on you, on top of you, next to you, touching you. Feeling someone's at the foot of your bed. Feeling someone's coming in the door, at the door, multiple people in the room. Very common experiences during sleep paralysis. Don't be scared, it's not demons. What is it? I don't know, but they can't hurt you, or they would have been hurting you, and etc. Now, one of the things I find interesting is it segues into time travel, but I don't want to segue into it yet. But false awakenings and time travel, I think there's a link there, and I'll get into it. Now, to the juice. How do you leave your body if you find yourself in paralysis? What happens? What do you do? What's best? There's tons of things to do at that point, but what's best? Everybody, opinions are like buttholes here. Everybody's got one. But I'm going to tell you my personal best thing to do is, excuse me while I pick it. Well, I like to have vibrations. So I like to induce the vibrations while in paralysis. So if I'm ever finding myself in paralysis, the vibrations usually begin very subtly, but I recognize them, and I try to move. And whenever I move, for me, this is my experience. When I recognize the subtle vibration in my body happening, I go to move, and then the vibration increases. So now I'm in paralysis. Now I'm in vibrating paralysis only when I move. But what I do is I continue to move. Like if it's me, like in my position, like in the school desk, and I'm now in paralysis because I get the little tingling in the back of my neck. That's how it would come. Sometimes I'd get vision through my eyelids, and that's a definite indicator that I'm out of my body. I'm just in paralysis, or at least my body's asleep. If you ever get vision, your body's asleep. But anyway, a lot of times you don't. So I'll be in this state. I'll feel the vibration feeling, and I'll go to do this and move. I'll go to do that and stand up, right? But all of this won't move. Anything I move's going, yeah, it's vibrating like crazy. So what I do is I try to move it anyway, and what happens is I realize that there's a part of me that's stuck here, and a part of me that is slowly moving. So now I'm aware of two different bodies, right? It makes sense too, right? There's your physical body, your physical frame, meat shield prison, and then the soul. But what I'm experiencing when I'm trying to move and everything is, it's vibrating and making all these noises like crazy the whole time. But once I get about a foot away from my own body, it all stops. And it feels like I'm ripping through saran wrap, like plastic wrap, like Reynolds wrap, with like a coating of syrup on it too, like on the outside. So it's like extra like stretchy and then gooey, and then I break free from my body, and now I'm not vibrating anymore. I can see, I can look at my body, all these things. That's my technique. If it's vibrating, keep moving it. Keep moving it, keep going, keep trying to get up, keep the vibration hard as hell, and until you finally get far enough away, because if you do it right, you're going to be aware of two different bodies. But the trick is, it's like magnetic. The trick is to not just try to move and give up, because you'll stick back to the first one. Your whole awareness will be back to the first body. The trick is to keep your awareness in that body. And even though it's going to be so easy to go, as soon as you stop and relax, your soul is going to get sucked right back into the body. It's gold advice. It's gold. You won't really find that anywhere that I know of. It's first-hand experience, and lots of it. Now, another thing you can do, again, first-hand experience. A lot of the stuff I'll tell you is first-hand experience. I don't read. I hate reading. It sucks. It's boring to me. It puts me to sleep. I wish I could. I mean, I could read very well. In fact, I read so well, I could read a paragraph of text and not even remember a lick of what I read, but I can read it like the weatherman. But anyway, another technique to leave your body in paralysis is to visualize the room from the vantage point you're in. So if you're in your bed, you're laying on your pillow, and if you closed your eyes, if you were to open them, what would you see? Well, you visualize that while you're in paralysis. You don't open your eyes. You don't move your physical body at all. You just visualize what your room looks like. And then pick a spot in your room, like whatever you're managing to visualize. Pick, like for instance, the ceiling above me is slightly textured. It's not popcorn, but it's textured. So I would look at the ceiling and actually try to just look at the texture harder. I just want to get like whatever you're seeing, whatever you're able to visualize on something smaller or minuscule. And what's going to happen, for instance, let's just say it wasn't the ceiling I'm looking at, or let's say I put a little sticker on there, or a couple of stickers with some small text for this purpose. Like I stuck a couple of things on like some fortune cookies or something, stickers up there. And I want to read the text because, it's real small. If you're trying to do that with your visualization, what's going to happen is you're going to naturally propel yourself forward in that visualization to try to read the text. And what's going to happen is if you're in the right state of being, and if you're in paralysis already and you know it, this is going to work. This is the right state of being, paralysis, for this to work. You will start to basically create your room and float forward out of body, which will also start the vibrations pretty heavily, probably in your head area or the back of your neck. That's what happened to me in the few times I've done it. So for whatever reason, trying to really focus harder on what you're visualizing will make you float there. Also, it's a way to fly if you're out of body and you want to fly in the air. You just generally have to focus on something in the distance, but it's a little bit harder to do on an object that's way in the distance. So something taught me how to do this out of body, and it was really a special experience. I'll tell that in another one, but that's how I learned to fly, and it also can be used to go out of body. Now, let's see. I could give one more very interesting way to go out of body in paralysis, or I could start talking about time travel. What do you guys want to hear about in the chat? I always hear ringing when I get out of the dream or meditation state. That's interesting. 5 Artis Liberalis. What's going on? I've only been able to travel from my bedroom to my kitchen, says Joel. Well, most of mine too. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. They don't all go away when asked, unfortunately, says Flat Earth Head. Read in the chat. 4:30 p.m. Mountain on Skype. Okay. All right, Flat Earth Head. Gotcha, Iron Realm. I'm gonna write that in my notes. That's gonna be the first is Friday. Hey Google, remind me on Friday at 3 o'clock that I have an interview with Flat Earth Iron Realm Media. He doesn't care that I got it wrong, guys. Oh, now I have to say it again. Hey, Google. Remind me that I have an interview on Skype with Iron Realm Media at 3 o'clock on Friday.
Okay, I'll remind you at 3 a.m.
No. It puts me on the spot. Time tomorrow. No. I'm gonna set the date real quick, guys. Hold on. January 1st, 3 p.m. Anilda, why don't it just let me set the time? Thank you. I'm gonna set it for 3 just to remind myself. I know that you said 4:30. Okay, fine. 3:11 p.m. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. Don't want to forget. That's definitely a reason why I have trouble scheduling things, because it's hard for me to remember days in advance. All right, so that's that. Yeah, what do you want to hear about in chat, guys? Have you voted? I don't think anybody's voting. Earth's flat, friends. All right, so I'll give you one more one more tip real quick on how to you leave your body from paralysis. And it's simple. Instead of visualizing much of anything, if you're not a visual person, a person that's able to create any scenario or picture of anything in their mind, well then don't worry about that. Feel where you are in the bed, and just feel like you can recreate the feeling of the bed and how it feels and how the back, like you just do a simple body check for what your body feels like on the surface it's laying on, and then try to feel that you're only an inch to the left or an inch to the right. And I say that, like, imagine that you're on a twin size bed, for example, or you're next to a wall and you don't generally like to touch the wall or get too close to the edge. If you try to visualize yourself feeling like you're there right on the edge, or like you're closer, awkwardly closer to the wall, and then just kind of rest in that, it will cause vibrations just the same eventually, because your body will try to align in that position. The more you're able to feel confident in that visualization or that recreation of just being an inch or two left or right of your actual body, like your soul will start to gravitate there. Much as I probably don't like to use that word now as a flat earther, but you get pulled there, and that shift an inch or two over is misaligning your energy body from your physical frame, and that causes vibrations, intense vibrations. Probably your whole body will vibrate at that point. You don't have to move anything at all. So that's another one that's again, I've done this firsthand, and I was like, wow, I have to remember this one. This is just another way to do it. There's tons of ways to do it. What's the common goal, or the common thing in all of these techniques that you're going to read about? A lot of them involve putting pressure on your astral body. That's why I made I think it's Astral Projection Tips and Tricks, video number 3 on my channel. Talks about astral slipping or astral pressure. One of them talks about astral pressure. Very important. So time travel. Anybody want to hear about time travel?
Yeah! Woo!
All right. He's my biggest fan, by the way, guys. Ernie. Ernie's his name. Ernie Hemingway, I believe. Hemingway? Oh, don't worry about it. Time travel, is it real? Come on, give me some audience participation in there in the chat. You guys think you can leave your body and experience the future, or maybe the past? Or what about just general time travel? How do you feel? Specify, though. If you say you believe in time travels, you gotta specify physical time travel or astral time travel. Is it real? Yes or no? Nukes are fake. Time travel is real. I agree with that. All right, I agree with that. Trouble About says heart. No. Dan Bain says yes. Wonder if anybody's seen the same thing. Artist Liberalis, what did you say? I want to get over the Antarctica. I went over the Antarctica a couple of times, and I talked to the beings there. They're scared of us because we make war all the time. They look like formless light beings with a blue glow. Holy sheet. Well, now that is planted in my head, I could very well recreate that exact scenario, but I don't want any more explanation of what they look like, artists. If I ever do that, I'm gonna come to you, and I'm gonna ask you, after I already type up a full description of everything I remember about them, if they're real, if I experience them, and I would like you to further explain more, and then, like, before you can really finish, or I'll send you the file in the email or something, and it'll basically be a way to double confirm our findings. But anyway, time travel, yep, it's real. Time travel in the astral sense is definitely real. That's what I'm going to say. That's why I'm saying a yes to. Physical time travel, time machine, Marty McFly, Doc, I don't know, brosifs. I don't know. But the astral projection time travel, very real. Premonition dreams of the future, prophets, prophetic dreams, yeah. Stuff's, yeah, it's real. Done it. I was just telling somebody a while ago. I had a dream I was jousting the other night. Pretty cool ass dream. Felt like a boss. I was on my horse in my armor, heading down that sandy pit with this other dude, which actually, no, I gotta be honest with you, I didn't have armor on. I was just like this. And I was like shitting pants because I didn't have armor on. I was like nervous. But then when I looked at the guy was wearing a business suit. He was wearing one of those like light blue, baby blue button down things. His tie was all screwed up like he just got out of the cubicle. And I was like, oh, I got this. I got this. And for some reason I had two lances. And I realized I had two lances before he realized he had two lances. So it was like we both got zapped into a jousting dream. And I was definitely more ready than that guy. So anyway, he's on his horse and he's like fixing his tie, and then he's like, oh shit, I got these lances. And then he looks up at me, and by that time I was like, I hit him and he falls back, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And then I woke up. Thought, cool dream. I met a flat earther last night. He comes over. He's talking with me and Caroline. Starts talking about, of all things, jousting. Like, real jousting. Like he was at, Renaissance Fair or something where they were doing real jousting and stuff. And when does jousting just ever make its way into casual conversation? Never. Well, what if I said, that's just how it goes. I'll have dreams like that en masse. I mean, every few weeks at least, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes multiple dreams in one night will show up several times in that day. It's pretty interesting. But that's one thing, but no, I got something better. Time travel is even more tangible than that. That's seeing glimpses of, I don't know, at least conversations that happen in the day, and I seem to have small dreams of the words or topics or things that I see in the day. It could be like, I could see a gray cat, and I could be like, wow, look at this gray cat. It's such a unique gray colored cat in my dream. And I wake up, and I see the neighbor with a kitten. It's the same exact color. That was another one, same thing. It was like such a cool, smoky silver gray, like church, like Cat Church on the, that movie, that scary movie. Anyway. But more tangible time travel, get this. I was again in my class. I was sitting at my desk, and I was trying to go out of body, and I went out of body. Or no, I guess what happened was I was trying to go out of body, and the bell rang, and that woke me up. Then I was like, ah, and I thought I failed, and I thought, oh well, let me get my books, picked up all my stuff, and everybody's getting up to leave the class, because the class was over. So I was disappointed. It felt like I didn't get any sleep. I didn't leave my body that day. I was just, I was upset. I was going to go ahead, and the first thing we do after the first class is have a 15-minute break. So we were going out for recess. And I go out there, and I see rain. I feel raindrops hitting me as I'm walking out. And I'm looking up at the sky, and it's like a beautiful blue sky. There was a couple of big white puffy clouds. There was no gray clouds anywhere. And I'm getting little raindrops. And I'm like, wow, that's so weird. It's like a sunny day. I'm getting rained on right here, and I just kind of kept going, and when I finally stopped where I normally hang out, guess what happened? Bam! Right back in my desk again, sitting there just like this again, and the bell rang. The bell's ringing, and everybody's waking up. Everybody's getting up, and the same exact thing's going on. Same exact thing. Everything is exactly the same. Everything. I was like, okay, except the only thing different was I was still even doing the motions of getting my stuff together in the same time. But I had this different look on my face and this different knowing and this different feeling. And I was just like, whoa, I just did this. And I'm putting on my books and I'm getting everything and I'm moving out. And I'm thinking, is it going to rain on me? And as soon as I thought that, boop, it hits me right here. I can remember the exact spot it hits me, the first raindrop. And I look up and I'm the same exact thing. It's just a sunny day. So yeah, like you can see the future. Why did I live 5 minutes of useless future? I don't know. But the way that it happened was hands down. Nobody could take that away from me. Like you have to experience that for yourself. everything was exactly the same, to the point where I knew it was going to happen. I'm like, where's that first raindrop? Because I looked out the window and I saw that it was a sunny day, and I'm like, boy, if it rains on me out there, because it didn't look like it was raining at all. I was like, boy, if this, you know, if this happens, and it did. What is that? I think we can do it at command. I just don't know how. I think astral projection is the gateway catalyst of what we could learn about and master to do things like time travel, at least to the future, for whatever reason. I guess there could be plenty of reasons why you'd want to do it, but you can't always trust the experiences. Like, here's the biggest thing I have to say about astral projection. I mean, it's also kind of another disclaimer. Um, and look, you'll hear about this from people. You'll hear about their experiences, and they've done this like artists. You said you went and saw blue people over there across the way. Hey, what's up, Joe Mama? Midi HC, what's happening? Glitch video looks pretty compelling. I don't know what you're talking about, the glitch video. But the beings across the way, you could experience that. I could go over there and experience a completely different thing. You're not going to be able to trust that experience unless two people either travel together or come up with the same story without communicating it. And that, I'm sure that happens. I mean, I know it's happened to me. 3 times I've gone across through a wall and saw what somebody was doing or wearing or sleeping in, and told them about it, freaked them out. Freaked them out enough to have them almost call the cops on me, put it that way. Thinking I was a literal peeping Tom. So, you know, I hit the nail on the head. That to me at this point, like, not to be like, oh, that's just easy. No, but there's always so much I can really do with that. I mean, I want to do something different with astral projection. So people say they leave their body and go healing stuff, healing people. I think I did that one time and healed my ferret. I don't like to talk about it because it's just weird, but I did that. My ferret was dying on a road trip, and I had an out-of-body experience, and while I was in that state, I was Reikiing my ferret, and when I woke up, he was finally better after 3 days of like, oh God, he's gonna die. Um, Another Reiki experience where a guy had double pneumonia, and I did a prayer healing on him and pulled him from the death breath state, death breath, you know, pulled him out of double pneumonia overnight when he was in the ICU. Freaked the doctors out. Was it me? I did some damn good Reiki on him. What do you do with these experiences? I don't know. I encourage you to try them. Try these things yourself, because you know it's like flat Earth. Like, you gotta do the experiments. You gotta do the research yourself. But this is even more tangible than flat Earth. It's interesting. There's so many things you can do with Reiki and out of body travel, I guess. But anyway, what's the last thing I wanted to touch on? Maybe the last thing. The 14,400 comes from geometry and has nothing to do with angel saviors. Not sure what that is. You talking about the frequency hertz or something like that? Hey, Flat Earth Vegans is in his owl. What's up, Flat Earth Vegans? Go to tomorrow's horse race, says Mr. Thrive and Survive. Yes, I should, huh? Hey, you know what? You know what would be interesting is if I did it blindly, like I don't know jack about horses, but if I astral projected to the horse race, or just astral, excuse me, I'm like so much gas from this beer. I'm trying to burp it up. If I was like at having an astral experience and really thought about, okay, what do I want to do in this experience? Okay, I want to go see the winner of the horse race, and bam, a lot of times you're gonna kind of teleport there. And if I saw anything, a name of anything, I would just have to relay the names, and we would have to look at the names and see if anything remotely matched up, and just bet on that horse. I'd drop 20 on it. I'd trust myself to drop 20 on it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What could you do with this? What could you do with this? ability. If it's trustable, like if you could really trust it every time, if you can rely on it, well, it's pretty cool. But I look at it like there's so many times that's not worked. What do you do with that? You know, there's a lot of times it's failed. But when it involves a second person, that's when it seems to actually work. I've tried to leave my body and go look at a deck of cards I've planted somewhere and turned a card over and, you know, not looking at it, turned it over and try to go out of body and go look at that card. And it always fails. But if I go somewhere where someone else is, so I haven't failed yet. I'm like 4 for 4. Interesting. Let's see. What else is on the list? Yeah, pretty much covered it, guys. You guys have any questions? Any questions in the chat? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go read a couple of things, and maybe I'll get some. I'm gonna read a couple of things on my astral projection help and tips room while I drink this beer and wait for some call-ins. If you have a question, call in 504-264-3609. I haven't been looking at the Facebook page, so I'm gonna say hi to everybody in the Facebook chat too. There looks like 2 people in there. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. You gotta get in the hold on. I'm gonna read a couple in the Horty Sheet Show YouTube channel. That's where the chat is happening. Hey Feather, hey Ray, Richard Lee Burke, how's it going? Everybody there in the Facebook. Glad y'all made it. Jennifer's in the his out. Flat Earth Vegans. Flat Earth Vegans knows what's up. They made it to the YouTube room. All right. So what is my room saying? What is my Facebook group saying? Let's check out some stuff over there. There was a good conversation happening. Somebody asked a question and somebody replied. And I like seeing that. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. Dun, 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 dun. Spaceport. Let's put the spaceport on there. This is cool. So this is my my group, Astral Projection Help and Tips. And there's where I posted the link. All right, so here's Zah. He says, well, I'm trying to AP. I just reached the part when your body feels numb. Then I can move my astral hands. I keep seeing purple things moving in the dark. Nothing else, nothing more. When I stop, I feel so tired from trying. Any tips or notes? And I suggested one thing you could try is going to sound strange, but I've had it work for me several times in that state. What you need to do is visualize that you're laying exactly how you were laying in your bed and limbs exactly how they really are. Try to create that visual and feel it. It shouldn't be hard. In fact, it should be very easy because you're already in that position, so it shouldn't take very much effort. But here's the trick. I gotta fix that actually. ... It looks pretty good right there. You need to do just what I said, but shift it over about an inch or two. So that's where I gave that guy that tip. I was just explaining that a little while ago. And that's kind of like just a really easy one to do. And he said, yeah, I'm going to try it and tell you my feedback. I think this will help a lot. Thanks. Another one, I've been trying to astral project for a long time. I lie there for up to 90 minutes and nothing happens. I think I'm lying completely still and only my jaw starts to drop as I get more relaxed and I swallow. Should I try to not let my jaw move? Is there a way not to swallow? I have fallen asleep at times, and once in a while I'll start to see hypnagogic images, and then I must fall asleep or they stop happening. Help, please, advise. Thank you. Yes, the problem of the jaw and the spit and the swallowing thing. Yes. It's a way you have to just... What I like to do for that reason alone is take my pillow and scrunch it up a little bit and make it prop my neck up. So like my neck is propped up and my head is sort of back. And that's, for some reason, that has eliminated this problem for me. Or to turn a little bit sideways with my head so that my jaw can be on the pillow. And whether it's fully relaxed, it can come open slightly or not. I know the jaw struggle. I've been there. just get yourself in a position that you don't. The practice you have to do is go completely limp. And you should be in that practice doing any relaxation exercise. It should be at least at the very end of your practice to be able to fully relax your body completely. So why don't you just do that at the very get-go? Lay down in your bed, whatever position, and then just go limp noodle. See what happens. See if your jaw happens to open. And if it is it uncomfortable? And if it is, shift ever so slightly so that it's not uncomfortable. And that's your position you need to be laying in. That's going to eliminate that problem. Another way, you may, if you said you've been practicing for a long time, speaking to Christy on the Facebook group here, I hope she's going to watch this later, but if you've been practicing for a while with little to no success, try doing it not in your bed. Try not laying down to do it. Try at odd times. Try with an alarm clock waking you up at 3 in the morning. You go to bed at 10, 12 at night. Wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Hit snooze 2 or 3 times. Don't ruin your work. You know, do this on a time when you're off for like 2 days in a row or something. Do it on the first night so you can screw up your sleep pattern a little bit and get back on track for work, right? But yeah, thanks for that vote, Delaney. That vote. Hori for president. Thanks for that sub. Yeah, try it in different places. Try it at odd times. Set alarms. Hit snooze, hit snooze, hit snooze. Keep trying. Every time you hit snooze is a whole nother brand new, ripe, ready for the picking chance to go out of body. That's what I used to do, at least to get a whole lot of practice with the body awake, mind asleep state and what I would experience upon going back into my sleep pattern, because I would put my alarm clock on to wake me up at 3, and I would hit snooze for like an hour and a half. I mean, I must get like 13, 14 snoozes, whatever, 10-minute intervals. And every time I hit snooze, I'd go put my head back on the pillow, close my eyes, and I would try another technique I was just telling you about. I would try visualizing and feeling I was 2 inches to the left, or I would try visualizing my room, or I would, in some cases, I would try to visualize or feel like my bed was a rocking chair, and I was slowly rocking left and right, more and more, until I flipped out. That works. I've imagined myself doing somersaults, front flips, back flips. I've imagined myself doing all these things to create a dizziness feeling, and when I get the dizziness feeling, I just go with it. I can just hold on to it. I just try to enhance it and make it grow. All these things you can do. Try it in a different place. Get out of your bed, Christy. Try it in a different place. Daniel Kelly gave some advice here. He says, thanks for your question. First, you're actually very close to a breakthrough. So prepare yourself, he says. The jaw opening thing will actually begin to happen even if your physical jaw doesn't actually open. This can be pretty annoying. I remember when the issue began for me as well. I was about 21 years old and had started a serious meditation practice that I eventually carried into the sleep cycle. He says at first my physical jaw would actually open, and I'd either drool or swallow constantly. This actually is very natural, he says, and comes as a side effect of your lymphatic system being activated by the strange interaction of bioelectrical brain waves that are usually discrete. Don't know about that. My opinion, I don't really know what he's talking about. But he says, in conscious sleep, however, you're creating a peculiar overlap of these brain waves, and this produces physical effects. Anyway, once I conquered the jaw opening, I actually began to open astrally. It actually began to open astrally, as it were. And I'd have to actually touch my jaw to see if it was really open, and it wasn't. Then after that was solved, my eyes would open into the dream, and I think my physical eyes were actually open. And I'd think my physical eyes were actually open. So he says it takes time and practice to get used to this new skill. If you're interested in a full curriculum, I've written extensively on the topic and published extensively on the topic. Here's a link to my site, behindtheveil.simdif.com. I'll give him a shout out, a plug there, because that was pretty good. And Christy showed some love there back. Thank you so much. All right. So I can verify that guy knows what he's talking about. And that's why I gave him this plug. I read this a little while before the show started. The jaw opening thing that he's experiencing happening is thanks for the like on the video there, Charlotte. Hope you're having a blessed day. The jaw opening thing, this is when I, again, back to when I would do this position in my desk, in the wooden school desk, every morning at 7 o'clock. I would feel like I was falling out of my desk this way, or falling out of my desk this way. And I couldn't figure out why. I was like, it was annoying. Just like he said, it was annoying. It was frustrating to me as well to think I was falling out of the desk. The same thing to think that my jaw was opening, or their jaw is opening. In this case, in Christy's case, it's probably really her jaw opening. But it's worth noting, especially if now you're going through this already, Christy, and you have this fear and you have this feeling that your jaw might open at any point. Well, guess what's going to happen when your body falls asleep on you and you're still waiting for that to happen? You're still waiting for your body to fall asleep. It falls asleep on itself. What's going to happen at that point? Your mind's going to start creating your reality. If you're worried about your jaw falling, your astral jaw is going to open. Your physical jaw won't. Same thing in my position in the desk. I was worried that sometimes the desk would get moved around. I would have a desk with an arm on it one day or a side on it, and the next day, same damn spot, I'd have no sides on either desk. So those days I'd freak out thinking if I fell asleep, I might fall out the side. There's nothing to catch me. But when my body would finally fall asleep, and believe me, it was ready to fall asleep because I was sleep deprived as hell, I would start to slip one way or the other. And that when I would go to fix myself back in the original position, bam, I would instantly zap back to the original position. It's the same thing that was happening with his jaw. When it wasn't actually opening, he had to do an actual check to see. So yeah, your mind is going to create something as amazing as feeling something you cannot distinguish the difference from. Yeah, you can't tell if it's physically your jaw opening or not. You can't tell if you're physically sliding out the desk or if it's just your subconscious fear making those things happen once your body finally falls asleep on itself. I hope that is really, I hope you take that advice in if you're trying this at all, because that's gold. Let me read one more, but before I do, take a quick beer break. I'm going to do one more beer with you guys and talk about whatever else I think comes to mind. Try to keep it content filled this stream, and then I'll get off probably in about 20 minutes. Let's see. Is there any sort of music that I can play? Hold on. Well, before I do the beer break sign, maybe I can play some of my music. Get ready for your ears to screech. No, it's not that bad. There you go. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Thanks for putting up with that. Now, ready for some more? Just a little bit more, real quick. Can I get the regular screen up there? Okay, here we go. Let me read the chat real quick. Say hi again to everybody who's still sticking around. Funky music. Thank you, bro. That was a little piece of mine that I made. And, yeah, I probably should finish it one day. But, yeah, I don't know. I am upgrading my computer very soon. I'm getting a new video card, and I'm getting, I think, a sound card put in. I've gotten a little bit more money here to spend on that soon, and I'm going to put a new sound card in to hopefully connect my sound equipment to it with less lag, which will allow me to create music again much better than I have before. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. Might actually finish a song or two. I guess I have two. I have two songs already. That was just a snippet of one, but I have two completed ones. I'm a booze hound. Does that help or hurt astral projection? Ginger Sugar Bush. Well, I would imagine that it doesn't help. All I can say is that when I started smoking marijuana at a young age, at 16, my astral projection experiences came to a pretty screeching halt. I wasn't a big drinker up until last year. I wasn't drinking last night when I had... Wait. I did drink beer yesterday. I did. I drank two of these Mike's Harder drinks, or three. But that was hours before I had my little lucid dream, so I guess it could go either way. I'm not going to say you can't have an astral projection on alcohol or pot or drugs, but I will say that for me personally, being, under the influence of anything else, being not sober it makes it harder. The times I've had more astral projection experiences, I've been sober for like 98% of them, so it sucks. Believe me, I wish I could say no. Smoking pot helps you, bro. Or drink a beer, you'll go right out. No, can't. Also, the Baron Trump time travel books from the late 1800s is very interesting. That's a new hot topic right now, isn't it? Yep. Also, some Hollow Earth stuff. Ooh, this Hollow Earth thing, huh? You know what's interesting about Hollow Earth? Now, I think people might get confused on Hollow Earth. I think to some people it means something, and to other people who haven't researched it thoroughly, like myself, I kind of visualize Hollow Earth being a little bit different than maybe the real theory is. But one thing that is interesting to know or look into is underground farming. Have y'all looked into that yet? Where fruits or vegetables, or whatever the hell they're growing underground with no sunlight at all, it's freaking growing bigger and better than if it was in the sun. Like, it's interesting. It's like it's getting some energy down there in the earth. And but the Baron Trump thing, I kind of want to do some research on that. I really do. Speaking of this time travel thing, I wonder if this is going to work. Look at that. That's me a couple of seconds ago. Did I take a sip of beer yet? Oh, see? How did I know I was going to take a sip of beer? That's what I'm talking about. This time travel thing, man. I'm looking at myself a couple seconds in the past. How's that even happening? Time travel, bro. Time travel. I just did it live. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Let me read a couple more things on my... You like that one, Joel? Let me read a couple more things here. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, I will. All right, so the next person here on the group says, how do I turn a lucid dream into an astral projection? That's a good question. I often do it by going back to my body and then roll out. That's a good way. I thought I astral project, but now after some time and reading the book by Daniel Kelly, whom I don't know, I know I just dreamed that I astral project. Ooh, I thought I astral... Let me read this again. I thought I astral project, but now after some time and reading the book by Daniel Kelly, I know I just dream that I AP. This guy is a very aware person. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna read on the rest of what he says. My AP astral projections are different, and a lot of astral projections are now lucid dreams. So how to convert a lucid dream into a real astral projection? Flying high and fast, creating portals. So these two things were probably recommended somewhere elsewhere. And the creating portals thing, I know there's a whole sect of people there, I think, that are trying to divert this whole movement. Or Hori doesn't know how to create a freaking portal up there, okay? Sorry, bro. Didn't get the memo, guys. No. How do you convert a lucid dream to an astral projection? Anybody want to take that one? You have to increase your level of awareness. And one of the best ways to do it is just what he said in his top line. He often does it by going back to his body and rolling out. Waking up, going back to your body, it's like a reset. Whether you physically wake up or not, it doesn't matter. Just doing that shows a level of awareness. Shows a level of awareness. Now you're on track. Now, since maybe he was in a lucid dream, he was creating like me, creating himself flying around through the clouds, through the fog and the blackness. I could have turned that lucid dream into an astral projection. How? I would have done the same thing he did. I would have felt for my physical body, which would have been in the bed, probably like this. And I would have one of two things would have happened. A, I would have woke myself up too good and totally ruined every chance of going right back out. Or B, you wake up in your body in the paralysis state. And you can easily just do what I said before to go out of body, do the whole moving out of your body thing. And once you do that with the vibrations, then, oh boy, you're definitely astral projecting at that point. But you don't necessarily have to re-exit that way. He can literally go right back to the same dream scenario he was in. As long as you have the awareness of saying, wow, I'm out of body now. It doesn't matter if you do it in the lucid dream or not. You don't have to wake yourself back up to your body. If you're in your lucid dream creating pink snowballs from yellow snowballs, or whatever the hell you're doing, or running away from the marshmallow Michelin man, whatever the hell you find yourself doing in your dream, whether you're just in a complete freaking wacky dream, or whether you're creating a dream, or whatever, once you realize, oh, wait a second, I'm dreaming. It's one thing. When you wake up past that and go, wait, that means I'm out of body. That's another thing. Could still be a lucid dream at this point, unless you're up here. Now you're like, I'm fully aware. Now, what did I want to do again? What did I tell myself before I went to sleep tonight? What did I want to plan on doing? If you actually do that, that's when you're really out of body. That's not when you're really out of body. That's when it goes from a lucid dream to an astral projection. How do you change a lucid dream to an astral projection? Do what you ultimately would feel happy with doing if you woke up and remembered that your ass was just out of body 10 minutes ago. Like, what was your goal? You gotta have a goal. Set a goal. If you don't have a goal, set a goal. Set a goal now. Right now. You're gonna go look at Aunt Martha and see what she's doing. You're gonna go look at, I don't know, whatever your goal is, set a goal. There's no real easy way to switch back and forth, or a real easy way to notice that you've switched back and forth. You just have to be aware. You have to be starting to do what you've originally planned on doing. That's your answer. Raising your level of awareness. Going out of body, going back to your body and waking up again? Sure. Do that. And if that makes you feel like now you're in an AP rather than an LD, astral projection rather than a lucid dream, fine. But it's not necessary. So I hope I kind of gave him some insight there. It's all about the level of awareness. As long as you're doing what you originally planned on doing, you're woke. You're fully woke. There's definitely levels of awareness. Here's one. Here's one by Daniel Kelly. He says, this morning offered further proof of my theory, his theory that one should never practice lucid dreaming or astral projection while sick or injured, which I disagree with. He says, I'm currently suffering from both illness and injury. I woke up in the middle of an intense REM cycle this morning and began spontaneously, from habit, rotating my consciousness in a backwards somersault. So let me repeat that again, because this is a way to go out of body. He says, I woke up in the middle of an intense REM cycle this morning. And whatever that means, that's the REM sleep, right? But you could have just woken up just like I did last night, woke up and just tossed over. And when I tossed over, I felt like my head didn't stop on the pillow. I felt like it kept going. Let's read on. He says, I woke up in the middle of an intense REM cycle this morning and began spontaneously, from habit, rotating my consciousness in a backward somersault. That's the same thing as me deciding to passively let my head continue to twist. And that twisting feeling, like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, turned into me flying in my dream and creating a lucid dream. Same thing. It's the same phenomena that happened, except he just did really the opposite. He just visualized him or tried to make himself feel like he was doing a backward somersault. You can do these things when you're really, really, really tired. You can. And anyway, for him, he says, I woke up in the middle of the night, in the middle of an intense REM cycle, and began to spontaneously rotate my consciousness in a backward somersault, his favorite separation method since early childhood. And then he immediately regretted it, however. He says, I felt like my nerve force rebel as what? I felt my nerve force rebel as it was trying to hover around both the physical injury site and the weakened physical organs due to illness. So he goes on to say, like, he feels like it's not a good idea to leave your body while it's trying to heal because you're messing up the healing process. I understand where he's coming from. He says the problem is that whenever I initiate lucidity or astral projection, it's incredibly difficult to stop once it's begun. It's like a switch that's been activated. So I lay there in sleep paralysis watching my bioelectricity suffer under the strain of being distracted from its important job of healing. And he asks, has anyone else ever experienced this? That's a rather interesting experience. And I cannot say that I would disagree with that. However, I think there's a way to literally go out of body and channel more energy directly to the problem site, and aka out of body Reiki healing on yourself. Third person, fully aware healing. Is it the best? I don't know. Our bodies seem to do it just fine without our conscious help. What does somebody else say in here? Shylon says, I disagree. I use AP and lucid dreaming to heal. Just what I was thinking. Just what I kind of have. I've already done that with the ferret. He says, well, sure, but in my experience, 20 plus years, Daniel says, with this year, you require energy to heal. This energy has its own intelligence, and if we use our will to interfere with this process by redirecting that energy toward AP and LDs, we may cause harm. Think of it this way. Why do most perennial traditions recommend avoiding energy work or meditation after eating a heavy meal? Because the energy will be too bound up in the digestive process and should be allowed to do so. They also recommend not practicing while sick or overtired for the same reason. Well, I remember leaving my body with fever one time, and that was actually the time when I was approached by an entity that taught me how to fly. So I have a sort of bias to say, good things can happen even when you're sick trying to
Doesn't work.
All right, all right. The mic went out. Everybody's going nuts. It's okay. Thank you. It's good. It's good. We're back. We're back. Thank you. Thank you for that. I don't actually know if it's gonna work for the.
Yeah.
Does this
Yeah,
work?
you.
Can you actually hear me on the Facebook call?
Yeah. Oh, you already got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it fixed. Do you hear me right now though on the
Problem.
Facebook call? Ugh, he didn't answer. I don't know if you, Ray. I need you to know. I need to know if people that call in can actually hear me talk, or if I have to like reset the whatchamathinky. But anyway, where did I leave off, guys? Because that was pretty good. I was getting into something good. What's the last thing you heard? Ugh. Everybody's freaking out in the chat. Sorry, guys. This is why I want to get the computer sound card fixed. This is another reason why I don't want to deal with this anymore. And if it does not fix itself, I swear I'm selling this whole computer and getting a whole new computer. I might have to sell a testicle for it. But I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it for truth. Shit. Why did I answer it on my phone? I'm a dumbass. Call me back. Call me right back. I know, I answered it on my cell and I didn't mean to. Let me answer it from the computer. Look at that. Why did I do that? I just had it in my hand. Get out of here, phone. Messing shit up. So I want to see if this works so I don't have to... I don't want to close the browser out and do all that. It would be a big mess. All right, one more time. We're going to get a phone call from Ray again. Artist Liberalis. In a 3, 2... I know it's okay now. Watch, I'm gonna call him. It should work. It should work if I do this. Let me hit the phone button. Watch. Oh, he's like, oh. He's gonna pick up. I know he's watching me. Oh, he's probably... Come on, I need a sound test. I need the sound test for real. Alright, fine, Ray. Fine. Forget about it. If we get another call, I hope you guys can hear me. Screw it, I'll just close the browser. I just hate to close the browser. Now I know it's going to be alright. It's going to be reset. I just got to open all the tabs again. So anyway, when I get back to the chat room here in a minute, I want to know where you guys left off, because I was really getting into some good stuff, and I want to repeat it. It's so annoying, these technical problems. I'm just getting used to it, but I shouldn't be getting used to it. There's no fix to it. I don't know what it is. My computer doesn't like the USB ports that my stuff's plugged into. And I've changed every whole... Alright. I'll be there in just a second. Now YouTube's gonna go slow. Live streaming, please. I need to have some interim music, but I'm afraid to put on the background music I had because I got a copyright strike last time. So I can't even do that right now. Must be the beer. No, it's not the beer. Don't blame it on the beer. Alright, I'm just taking time to visualize Horty speaking different languages as he talks. Oh. Oh! Alright, where did I leave off? Anybody know? Probably don't. I wouldn't be able to even remember if I was listening. So, yeah. I'd have to like rewind and stuff. I don't want to rewind right now. Oh, the video output's low. No, it's not. Lying. Okay, what was I talking about, guys? Got to get me back on track here. I don't know. I really don't know what I was talking about. Oh wait, let me go back to the Facebook page. That'll probably jog my memory. I was talking about those two people replying to each other, right? And I was kind of agreeing with the lady that said, you know, how can we like leave our bodies and still heal? You know, how does that work? And I was agreeing that, you know, because of the thing I was doing with my phone. And I swear, like, if you guys just saw me like doing the thing with the phone and the beer and had no idea what I was saying, it had to be weird. But no, I kind of think you can go out of your body and heal yourself. That's what I was getting at from all that. So, but that's probably all. I mean, I might read one more thing in here. Now, the next thing is just me doing my stream. But he said he had 20 years of experience here and all this, and she was trying to say, well, oh, all right, back on track. The programming. The programming. If we're programmed to believe that we have limitations, well, we'll have those limitations in the out of body state because our mind creates the reality there. Okay? Our mind creates the reality there. Um, so if he believes he can't heal himself out of body, there'll be a block there. He won't be able to. Just like when you're falling asleep and you're slipping or your jaw's coming open, if you're worried about that, it's gonna happen when your body falls asleep. So you gotta keep these things in check. And what I was getting into was that I could be in an uncomfortable wooden school desk with the temperature could be cold. I could be really uncomfortable, and I could still have out of body experiences. In fact, that was when I was having the most of my out of body experiences in that kind of environment. So what do you do with that? I didn't limit myself thinking that it would be impossible in a school desk or impossible at that time of day, whatever it was. I I was experiencing these things that people were telling me I shouldn't be able to do. So I learned real quick, don't believe limiting beliefs. We are way more powerful than we think. So yeah, of course you can go out of body if you're sick. Go heal yourself directly, probably even faster. That's just my 2 cents. And then they said they go back and forth. Mm, they're just they're just sharing things back and forth. But anyway, guys, any questions? Anybody want to call in? I mean, geez, what do I do now? That's what I want to do. Figure out what I want to do now with my day. I have a script to write, so I'm gonna get started on some scripts. And I still have some ideas for a channel that's coming up. I have a bunch of funny viral videos that I'm itching to. I have a fun channel. If you guys don't know, it's gonna be a really funny viral channel coming out where I'll just get to be goofy and show funny stuff and slowly flat smack. And I'm afraid to give the name out to people on any live stream, but if you haven't heard me talk about it yet, that's my idea. I'm slowly collecting incredibly funny random stuff in a folder, and it's not going to be just funny stuff. It's going to be a mix of a lot of things that are just considered viral or trending. It could be fights at Taco Bell. It could be celebrities and their baby mama drama. I mean, it could whatever. It could be that 10-year-old drag queen kid, whatever news that I find is just ridiculous. I'm gonna comment on it in this channel, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be zombie food, really, but I'm gonna drip feed flat Earth truth and fact in there. I'm gonna play a NASA space bubbles video and be like, "Oh, what's going on here? Oh, wait, NASA's got bubbles in their space footage. What?" Yeah, so it's gonna happen. Cool. Yeah, thanks, artists. I did finish up with that. All right, guys. That's all I got for y'all. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna keep it there at the hour and a half mark is good. Sorry about the technical difficulties. But if you want to join up the Facebook group again is Astral Projection Tips and Tricks. I mean, I'm sorry. That's the name of my astral projection videos. The group on Facebook is Astral Projection Help and Tips. So join up there, and you'll get to see what all is happening. And if you want to know about the astral projection videos I have, it's Astral Projection Tips and Tricks 1, 2, and 3 right here on the Horty Sheet Show channel on YouTube. That's it. Much love, everybody. I could see myself live streaming again sometime tonight. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I've been wanting to get one of these out, so I'm glad I did it. And I hope it puts some people at rest, because I've been having a lot of conversations about astral projection and sleep paralysis. That's what prompted me to want to get some of this out there. And I've been getting a lot of messages off air of people that have watched my videos and saying, you know, thanks for the advice, or, you know, I had good results with this or that. So if you have a hurdle, if you have an interest or a hurdle in your process or whatever, post it here in my group. I'll give you my take on it. I'll help you try to get past that. You know, with the lady's jaw was coming open, or some people it's like itching everywhere, or some people it's whatever the case may be. Let me know what it is, and I'll try to help you. That's what I'm here for. So much love, everybody. I'm here to wake people up. Who's with me? I'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace.